Well, good evening, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me, not a good way to start off a story. Yeah, so doing my soldier series, talking about times in the British Armed Forces. So I've got lots of different things to go on about over the next couple of weeks. But the one that I'm going to talk about tonight is an operation. Now, those that have been in the army understand that you're given a set of orders and you have to go out, you have to complete tasks. Now, the one thing that I did not enjoy, but you have to do it as a platoon sergeant, as a commander, you have to do as you're told. So you're given a set of orders, and for some reason, the one thing that I didn't enjoy was this: with the amount of technology that the armed forces have, I always struggle to understand why they didn't use drones. Why doesn't the boss in camp send up unmanned aviation to give a live feed of what's happening in and around my camp? Now, a lot of soldiers will watch this and have the same impression. It's, oh yeah, but putting guys out on the ground is a deterrent. Well, what else is a deterrent? Is having air support in the air. Having Apaches in the air flying around your camp is also a big deterrent. Fast jets in the air, Apaches, Chinooks. I mean, it's all a deterrent. So I never really got my head around why the boss would risk the lives of soldiers to send soldiers out on a patrol at night time, called the GDA, ground domination, dominating the area. So basically you go out and you patrol around your camp at night time. Now, when you've got an enemy, I'm not reading the comments at the minute, I've got good monitors in there, but when you have an enemy that wants to kill you and wants to plant devices and IEDs in the ground so that your men stand on them and die, that's in itself plays on the mind of every soldier that walks out of those camp gates. So I tried to argue with my boss and say, sir, don't send us out at pitch black, because if we go out of camp when it's pitch black, my guys have to have torches. My guys have to put on light and search the ground for explosive devices. So if my guys are walking extremely slow at nighttime, searching the ground with white light, they are a perfect target for an enemy sniper. They are a perfect target for the Taliban and Al Qaeda to shoot at and kill, because they're lit up like a fucking Christmas tree. So I used to say to my commander, don't send us out when it's dark. Send out aviation, green eyes, send out and do a live, do a video check. I just didn't understand it. I know soldiers will go, yes, but you have to go out and dominate the ground. You know, it's bullshit. You don't. You're sending out soldiers to go out on the ground with a big fucking light to look at the ground, walk really, really slow to search it, and they're being shot at and killed. So I didn't like it, and I will argue to the death with any soldier why that is even a thing. Why do we do that bullshit? I used to believe in going out at first light, where you could see on the ground, everyone could see. It never made sense to me, and it still doesn't. And any soldier that says makes sense is a fucking retard, and that's the truth of it. So here's what happened. One night in particular, I get tasked to go out and do this job. I want you to take your troops out, Trev. We want you to go up the canal path and Sangin, come to Green 6 or Green 9, whatever the fuck it was called, cross the bridge, it needs searched, go through the alleyways, check the compounds, blah, blah. We had an area to cover. So I used to think, okay, right. So I went and briefed my boys, and I says, right, we're going to go out, guys. Dave Hayhill was with me. His dog Trio won the Dickens Medal, by the way. So we were heading out, and I had a brand new platoon commander who just came in to take over my old platoon commander. My other platoon commander was called Paddy Beery, who wrote the book Call Sign Hades. Paddy Beery got promoted to captain, and obviously he was going to do another task. He didn't want to go. He wanted to stay with my platoon because he was a great platoon commander. So I got a new guy, second lieutenant, straight from Sandhurst. Nice guy, actually, very good guy. Drew. I can't remember his second name, actually. I just know him as Drew. But anyway, we got tasked, and I said, right, here's what's going to happen, boss. This is dangerous. We're going to search the area down here, all around the fence. We're going to search this area, and then we're going to pick a compound. We're going to secure it, search it, and we're going to lay up till first light, because I don't believe in putting the troops' lives in danger. And he agreed with me. Yep. But on the way out, my guys were doing a phenomenal job, and they found 3 IEDs on the way out. And it was late at night, as you can imagine. It was pitch black. So we were told to mark them and move around them. So we were just marking these IEDs with how we mark IEDs. And we moved around them and we went forward. We found another IED. We marked it. We went around. The dog was doing a brilliant job. Trio DM 63, 63rd Dickens Medal, sniffed out 3 IEDs. What a fantastic dog. It saved our lives. It really did. It saved troops. But it had found so many IEDs. It was a terrible patrol. And we decided to lay up. So we lay up. And I remember getting in and laying up, and the guy searching it, searched the compound. We put positions out so we could keep an eye on what was happening, clearly. Dangerous area, Sangin. So we had moved away. We were south of Sangin. I mean, we weren't in the green zone. We were south of Sangin amongst all the buildings. We had sentries out. We were watching everything. Anyway, I remember my radio operator, Justin Couples, an American guy. He used to be in the US Navy, actually, Justin. And he left the US Navy and he joined the British Army. He was my cultural awareness guy. He could speak Pashtuni. He was a fantastic guy. And he was my radio op. And he was my friend. And I remember sitting with Justin and we're just chilling out, and he got out a meal from his webbing, from his pouches. He made like a little meal. It was quite nice. He was just sitting relaxing, chatting away to me. And I was chatting to him about his life in the US Navy and about his wife Vilma. He was married to a woman from Lithuania, actually, called Vilma. He didn't have any children. We were just chatting away for ages and ages. Anyway, I chilled out. I was doing radio stag with the boss. So myself, I never let Justin stag on with the troops. When it came to radio stag, it was the boss, myself, my radio op, and believe it or not, my CMT1, my medic. We manned the radio. And we did like at nighttime, truthfully, we did what was it? I think we did an hour on, 3 off. And that's enough. That's enough. So we did it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. The next morning, got the first light, got the troops up, went round, and I did my normal shit. Went round and did a bit of an area clean check, make sure there was no rubbish left, nothing left behind, everything done, everyone happy. Okay. And I had the guys on the sentry looking down. I opened the gate, went outside, sent out a couple of guys for defence, and I was kneeling down on my knee pad. I was just counting the guys out, and the first section went out and they headed towards the camp. And I counted them out. Second section, counted them out. Third section, counted them out. Counted out the rest of my guys. And believe it or not, you may not believe this, but as the platoon sergeant, I go last. It's my job to go last in the platoon. So I would count everyone out, and I did a radio check to the boss. I said, boss, Hitties 2-1 Bravo, all complete. And we walked off. Now I had a guy who was like my support, and he dropped behind me and he walked behind me. So we were like level, if you know what I mean. It's called herringbone. And as we were moving forward, I had only got, bear in mind, we're spaced out. So there's like 28 people in front of me, and they've all got about 10 meters. So my platoon spread out by about 200 meters now in that direction, and we're all spread. Proper spacing. So that if something does go bang, we don't kill everyone and only a few get injured. It's what you do. So I'd only moved away about 5 meters from the compound, and I just remember seeing this. In the distance, I seen this black puff, and then I heard the explosion. And I just looked, and my heart sank. I just felt the hair at the back of my neck stand up, and I could see this black puff. And then I heard the explosion, boom. And I remember internally panicking, going, "This is my guys." And I remember looking forward and just fucking going, "Wow, I'm there now. I swear to God, I'm there now." And I just looked, and I knew something was up. And then I could hear screams. I could hear the screams. And I was like, fuck. And I ran. And I just ran forward. And when I got there, I just seen guys scattered everywhere. I looked, my interpreter, known as the Rock, he was screaming, and I looked over at him, and I could see that he had lost these three fingers. So he only had his little finger and thumb. Those three fingers were gone on this hand, and those three fingers were gone on this hand. He only had, and I seen him, and his nose was missing. His nose had been blown off his face. And I remember looking down at him, and my first initial reaction was, and I'll be honest with you, I just went, someone shut him up the fuck and give him morphine. Because see, when someone's screaming, you know, you may not believe this, but see, when someone's screaming, you know they're okay. Yes, they've lost limbs, but they're screaming. They're not dead. So I was like, someone shut him up the fuck. I just know why I said it. I went, he's giving away our position. Someone give him morphine, shut him up. And so the medics started working on him. I looked over at my radio op just in couples, and I could see part of the reeds had been blown away. There was blood everywhere. I looked down, and Justin was missing arms and legs. And part of his back had been blown off. And I just looked down at him. My medic was, God, what an awesome woman. Kelly, her name was. She was working like hell on him. She was putting tourniquets on the missing bits left, and she was working away on this guy. And I could see it. And I at that stage, I'm useless. I sent a contact report. This is what you have to do as a platoon sergeant. My boss had taken a brunt of the explosion. His head was shaking. He was bleeding from the ear. He was just sitting stunned, the poor guy. First fucking patrol. And I could see other guys against the wall, completely in shock. And I started going, get a fucking grip, people, get that secure, get this secure. I looked down, I sent the contact report to the sergeant mates to zero. I sent the 9-liner, which is anyone's in the military will understand that. I sent a Mr. report, so that's a contact report, a 9-liner, a Mr. report. I had to send a fucking shot rep. I had to send for a top cover. I had to send about 6 different reports at once and deal with the situation. And on top of that, I don't know what happened. For some reason, I got my guys and they went, what do you want me to do? And I don't know why I did this. And to this day, I stand by the decision because I wasn't thinking right. I said, get your metal detector out, and I want his wedding ring. Because I knew he wasn't going to survive. The guy was blown to pieces, the poor fella. But then I started thinking, I want to give his wife back his wedding ring. Does that make sense? I mean, I'm like, I want his wedding ring. I don't know why I thought that. So I had the guys with their metal detectors scanning an area, trying to find his wedding ring. That was horrific to deal with. Thanks, Elaine. There's 5 memberships for people. That was horrific to deal with, actually. To come in from that. To pick that guy up. Clearly he died, the poor guy. But I had to get the sergeant major out to help me extract guys in, because my boss was broken for. I'll tell you what, my boss was only broken for about 24 hours. So there you go. My boss was broken for 24 hours. It was his first patrol, and he was in the mix of it. And I think he went on to be a great officer. Imagine that happening on your first patrol, though. It was horrific, and we dealt with that. We got in, and that sort of broke me a little bit. From there on in, I was like, I'm having to deal with that. That tour, I dealt with that. Yeah, it was a tough one, to lose such a talented soldier whose life and marriage was in front of him. It was horrific. And the worst thing about that was I never even, never even got a chance to attend his funeral because you're still working. So, you know, the body gets flown, goes into Camp Bastion, it gets dealt with, and all the correct families informed and units informed. And, you know, I do believe members of my unit at the time flew to Lithuania, and they gave him a full military funeral, and his wife, you know, never got, actually knew his wife. She's quite a nice lady. It's just a shame that I never actually got to visit. I would like to go to Lithuania actually, and visit his grave, you know. But another story of combat, ladies and gentlemen. Another story of combat, eh? Yeah. It's painful, isn't it? It's just, yeah, horrific. To war's hell. War is hell. Anyway, yeah, that's another one of my stories out the way. Yeah, hopefully get some good ones coming up soon. Not terrible ones like these ones. These ones are horrific. These ones aren't really nice to talk about, but you learn. I learned from everything that I've been involved in. I've learned from it and tried to become a better soldier, a better leader, a better sergeant. But you know what? I don't know why majors and colonels think it's a good idea to send soldiers at night time. We have radars, we have sonar devices, we've got aerial stuff. There's drones out there, unmanned aviation, green eyes. We have, I mean, we've got all this technology to search the ground and check it with live footage. You should not be sending soldiers out these days and age to look for things at pitch black, because it's just, you're walking into death, really, aren't you? Yeah. Well, anyway, listen, that is another one of my stories out the way of another great individual lost. And then we give every bit of ground we had gained, everything we had fought for, we give it back to the enemy. Hundreds of soldiers spilt blood, deaths, and we let them win. Sad, isn't it? Anyway, ladies and gents, thanks for watching my channel. Thank you for becoming members of my channel. I do appreciate it. I wish you all a wonderful evening, and I'm going to go and now try and cheer myself up after that. Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Thanks for moderators. Thanks to everyone in the chat, by the way. I didn't look at any of the questions, which I should have. I just, yeah. I think when I get in the zone sometimes and I'm talking about something, it sort of just takes over. So I apologize, but thanks for watching. Have a great evening, people. Take care.